Hey folks, I'm Rob.
And I'm Nathan.
And I'm Steve.
And we are Two Guys in a Ride. And say, Nate, tell us where we're at today.
Hey, today we are at the beautiful Chanhassen Autoplex in Chanhassen, Minnesota, and we are going to take you on a virtual car tour, and we're going to go through about 6 to 8 garages here, meet the owners, take a look at the whole garage, take a look at the cars they have on there, and it's going to be great.
And Steve, why don't you give us a little bit of information about what's going on here?
Well, our Cars and Cave shows happen the last Saturday of every month from April through September. As we all know, April has been canceled out here, but we've got the virtual car show with Two Guys in a Ride helping us out, and you're going to see some great garages today. I might add that during our car shows, we always give back to the community. We have a charity for each one of our 6 car shows. The first one is a really good one. They're back with us for a second year. It's Treehouse. The mission of Treehouse Hope is to end hopelessness among teens through mentorship, support groups, or off-site activities which create safe environments where teens can be themselves and have fun. So there will be a link on the website to donate. Please donate generously. It's a great cause. We help a lot of teens, and so please donate. Thank you.
All right, so what do you say, Steve and Nate?
Oh, let's go for a ride.
All right.
Hey folks, this is Nathan with Two Guys in a Ride, and we are taking a tour of Steve's garage down here at the Chanhassen Autoplex. And like we said, every garage is has been unique so far. So Steve, first of all, thank you for having us down here at Chanhassen. Thank you for letting us tour your garage.
Yep, I really appreciate you coming out, taking a look at things. And this gives people a look behind the scenes that sometimes don't see normally.
Right, yeah, on a day when you're having a display.
Yep.
So let's start with your physical garage, and then we're going to talk about some of the amazing cars that you have in here. So you have a lift, you know, that we've seen this type of lift before, where it allows you to store 2 cars in the space of 1. And tell us a little bit about all the decorations you've got. You know, obviously you're a Mustang fan and a Porsche fan, and like this Merle that's right underneath the Porsche here. What is that from?
That's taken out at Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin at Road America. That's back in the Can-Am days. So that's where these guys are coming out of Canada Corner and up towards the start-finish line. But they actually sell those out at the track. We've got some in another garage as well, that kind of a vintage garage look that we have. But yeah, we've got a whole variety of things here, from, you know, a Cobra that we built in the garage at home, which started the obsession, and the next went into the 69 Mustang Mach 1 here, which was similar to what I had in my younger years. And then bought a couple of Porsches, and we had space, so why not fill it up?
Yeah. So now, your garage, and we'll step into the back in a minute, but looking right here, you've actually got something very different we haven't seen so far, and that is you just have a nice little storage area that's built right into the corner.
We do, and in there we've got our heating element. It's a little box in there. It's an electric heater that heats the floor. We've got coats and racks and different things, from dog bones to dog food to clothing and everything in there, in a nice stored area.
That's just really nice to make use of that space. And again, it's just cool to see something unique. So let's step down over here. You've got some awards up here on the wall. You want to tell us a little bit about these?
Oh, these are some of the the shrines we make to each car here. Kind of the one Porsche sitting up here. We took, I think, first place in the street driven category with the Porsche Club and the Concours event. Some of the cars you see there, one picture is a Formula Mazda, and that's a race car that we actually have 2 of those, and we'll see a little bit later. Other than that, we've got the Mustang. We had some awards at a car show from that, but we kind of put it down there and had a little show board for each of these things so people understood what each car was a little different and unique about.
Okay, and then if we step back here, I love what you've done with some car parts for some normal household type of things, like your clock up here, and then your hand towel holder.
Yeah, a little thing that was available, little shifters, and you could turn into a coat rack. And we took, even for the hose reel there, we took a wheel off of a car that was being disposed of by the Goodyear dealer and mounted it at the wall, and that's how we roll the hose up.
I like that. Those are very useful to have. I've never seen one actually made out of a real rim, though.
Yeah, it just takes 2 bolts and you're done.
Okay, now I notice that this is your hand built car,
Yep.
and then you've actually got a Merle for it right here.
Yep.
So how did you come up with this idea?
The guy that does the show boards
Yep.
that we had, we actually took a picture of the car, and it was in a parking ramp, believe it or not. But he photoshopped it in. That logo is actually the logo from the hood of the
Okay.
car, and the brick is photoshopped in as well, and then all printed. This is a repositionable vinyl material. You can peel it off, stick it in another part of the garage if you'd like.
Wow. I like how you have sort of the French doors opening on either side of it. It almost looks, and then it's got a little 3D depth to it.
Yeah, we tried to make it look like this kind of continued on a little bit. So.
And I noticed at night you've got some little lights that are inserted behind, so it'll actually cast a light across it.
Exactly, just to kind of highlight some of those things.
I love it. Now, stepping over here, here's the parking meter that disappeared from downtown.
Yep.
You have some neat artwork, but what gets my interest right away is the driving station over here.
A little race simulator that works with iRacing. You can plug your laptop into it and connect in to iRacing and practice online. So I do a lot of it for my racing, different tracks where they've gone through and they've actually scanned all the tracks, and all the humps and bumps and everything that are on the regular track are built into the model that they have. But yeah, the NASCAR guys last week, when they couldn't race because of all the virus things, they had all the drivers driving these things together in one race, chasing each other. And the IndyCar guys are going to be doing that in the next couple of weeks as well.
Wow. And you saw it here first, and now you know what they're driving. So if you haven't quite picked up on it, Steve races, and it's dabbled for fun, right?
Exactly.
And we will see some of his cars that he races in another garage of his. Yeah. Now, this obviously has your wife's touch here. I'm going to guess she quilts.
Yeah, that's to say the least. So she's made the quilts on the sofa here, and she's working on her quilting station, putting up the different patterns that she's working on. And then since I moved things around and moved that desk downstairs with the simulator, she took over this part of the place as well. So she's got where her cutting table is here, and she works up here while I work downstairs.
But that's nice that you can both be in the same area. I mean, it wouldn't be any different if you were at a lake cabin or something.
Right.
One would be out doing one and one doing something else. So that's just a nice setup. And of course, you have a kitchen and a bathroom and a fridge.
Bathroom. Yep, kitchen, bathroom, fridge. Your little microwave there. We can heat things up. You can call in a pizza delivery if you want, whatever. We've got a freezer, and we can just come out and spend the weekend.
Which is really nice. I mean, that's what's so nice again about these lofts is that it really allows you for family to come.
Yeah.
Maybe that aren't so interested in cars, likes to do other things, but you have the space to do that.
Yeah, and we've had people come in here for car clubs and things. We do pancake breakfasts in here as well. So we'll set up tables, move the cars out, put up a couple of grills and sausage and pancakes for 100 people.
Wow, that's just awesome. Now, you got some more trophies up here. Are these from more of wins that you've been at with your race cars or your cars you have in this garage?
These are the collector cars that we have in there, and I don't remember which one. I think it's the smallest little one is probably my favorite.
Okay, so Steve, let's talk about your cars. So you have, I'm not sure what year it is, but it's a Mach 1.
1969 Mustang Mach 1, yep.
1969. That's the year I was born. Wow. I had to stick my nose just by the window and get a smell, because that's just, that leather, that seat has a particular smell to it. I love that. It smells, kind of reminds me of my grandpa's cars.
Yep. Yeah. Well, it's 51 years old, and it's an interesting thing. I've got to rebuild the carburetor in it, and I just tried today to find parts for it. Nobody carries a rebuild kit. I guess at 51 years old, not too many people have. There's not a great developing need for it.
So, what was your attraction to this car?
My dad bought one like this, except in fire engine red, when he was having a midlife crisis when I was in high school. And yeah, it was a car that I just loved. Yeah, I went to the auto show and saw this, and it was like, this is the thing. I mean, this was the car at the time. Yeah. Other guys, may have liked GTOs and things, but this just had sort of that sharp, angular, different, swoopy moving. Looks like it's moving when it's sitting still. Yeah. So that was the appeal there. And so since we had one, my wife actually drove that after my dad gave that, or sold that to me. My wife drove it. I drove it, for 150,000 miles back when transportation was driving.
Yes.
Now it's a collector. It's probably worth 10 times what it was new.
Probably, you're right.
Yeah.
All right, let's step on down here, because this is kind of the one that started everything. So tell us about this Shelby Cobra.
Yeah, this is a replica of a 65 Shelby Cobra that I built in the garage. It's a factory 5 replica kit that you can get. We did everything ourselves, rebuilt the engine, transmission, differential, put disc brakes on it, coil-over shock absorbers. And what you do is use the late model Mustang and harvested everything from the engine, transmission, the differential, radiator, wiring harnesses out of the car and put it into here. So it took about 11 months to start to finish, from taking the parts out of the car, cleaning everything up, putting it back together, and then painting it in the garage. So.
Oh, wow. You painted this yourself?
Yeah. Yep. We did everything.
Wow. Now, when you say we, who helped you?
Well, my wife tried to help. See, so I'm partially colorblind. So when we got to wiring the car up, I could probably tell the red and the black and the white. But when we got down to greens and browns and things, we had a little discussion a few times, because in wiring, mauve is not a color that's acceptable to electrical. Well, is this light green or dark green? Well, it's sort of a Kelly green. No, that's still not a color that works. So that probably took the longest period of time to try and get all the wiring done. But, it was up and on the wheels and rolling within several weeks. Oh, wow. But then it was, all the detail and all the body work and everything that had to go into it, because it comes a little rough with all the mold lines. It's a fiberglass body.
Right. Wow, but it's a stunningly beautiful job. I mean, that's just, you've obviously taken a lot of care to make sure it came out looking nice, because it's beautiful.
Yep, it's amazing what you can do in the garage after work.
So let's step over here, because you've got a Porsche. Actually, there are 2 Porsches on this side of the garage. So let's start with this one. Tell us about this.
This is a 91 Porsche 911. We picked it up from a guy locally here. It's got about 80,000 miles on it. It's just a wonderful little car, air-cooled, and it runs like a top.
Wow. Now, I'm just curious, because I noticed these little covers on the back of the mirrors. Is right. And that is actually a standard Porsche product?
Well, they've got that, as well as a vinyl bra that matches it, that goes over the hood to keep it from getting chipped. Nowadays, they have the clear add-on bra that you can put on. This was what it was years ago.
I had just never seen them for mirrors before, so I've seen the bras for the front. But, wow, that's really cool. All right, so let's go to talk about the top Porsche for a minute.
That one up there is a 2001 Porsche 911 C4, they call it, so it's all-wheel drive. Okay. And that one we've actually taken cross-country we did Route 66 from beginning to end and back again.
Sweet.
So we had one little problem that somewhere around Winslow, Arizona, we lost the potentiometer that's on the throttle pedal, so it wasn't reacting real well. And nobody out in the middle of Arizona seemed to have parts for a Porsche. So I had to use the cruise control to drive to LA to pick up the parts or get the parts. So we got to the LA Pasadena Porsche dealer, and they said, yeah, there's one part left in the country. It's in Atlanta. So we had to have it air freighted over, in which case they went, oh, they sent us the wrong part. So we had to wait again. But luckily we vacationed, we rented another car, they got it put back together, and we were on our way back home.
Nice. What there's a lot of memories in that car.
Yeah, it's one of those. Some of them are good. You know, you can make the vacation what you want. You could let it ruin your vacation, or you can say it's part of the fun of doing it. But I did learn exotic cars like that, maybe you don't want to take on a common drive. Take the GT500 Mustang.
Which is the next car we're going to talk about. So this is just incredible. I love this one. So you had mentioned earlier that this is one of the funnest cars to drive.
Yeah, it's a real effortless car. It's very smooth. You know, the seats are very comfortable. It's about 550 horsepower, and we went out to Arches National Park, to Moab and the areas around there, and back again. And you know, through some of the areas through Colorado, we're getting 28 miles to the gallon with a 550 horsepower car at 75 miles an hour.
That's really
good. It's very surprising.
All right, so we have in our second episode, Steve has another garage with some race cars, and we are going to be taking a look at that garage in the second episode. But for now, Steve, thank you so much on behalf of Two Guys in a Ride for inviting us in, show us your beautiful garage and your cars.
Love having you here. Thank you.